Hey everybody, my name is Noah, welcome back to the show, and today we're going to be discussing something that everyone has talked about, but I wanna throw my 2 cents in there. See these are 2 pennies that I have in my hand. I threw my 2 cents in there. So in this video I'm going to be discussing the Destiny 2 Curse of Osiris DLC expansion. And normally when I do a video like this I would put spoiler warnings and shit like that, because I cover like the whole thing. I cover like the ending, the narrative, the story, everything like that. But I'm not gonna do that this time, because with this video I don't just want it to be like a, I'm just talking about it. I also kind of want to make it like, is it worth your time and money to get this thing? Which obviously implies that people who don't have the Curse of Osiris DLC are going to be watching this, and that's sort of like the target audience for this video, and therefore I can't really put spoiler warnings because then that's going to alienate all those people. So no spoiler warnings. I'm going to try to make this as spoiler free as I possibly can. And one more thing to say before I get into the meat of the video. This video is going to be structured in a very similar way, if not identical, to my Destiny 2 Good Game video. And if you haven't seen that video, essentially what I mean by that is I'm going to start off with the positives, and then I'm going to go into the negatives. So right off the bat, the first thing you're going to experience in the Destiny 2 Curse of Osiris DLC is the campaign, obviously. And the narrative was pretty good. There are things I don't like about it, but I'll save that for the negative half of this video. But all in all, the missions, the narrative, the story it was trying to tell, the ending, the boss fight, it was all pretty solid. It was pretty straightforward, and in my opinion it was done pretty well. The raid. I haven't done the raid yet. From what I've seen on like YouTube videos and gameplays and stuff like that, I think I kind of like this, like the raid layer. It's not actually a raid, it's a raid layer. But I think I actually kind of like the raid layer more than the raid. If you watched the Good Game video I put out not too long ago, you would know that the reason I didn't like the Leviathan too much was because it was way too puzzle focused. Like, it was almost 100% just puzzles. Like, there was almost no combat. And then with those puzzles, they were really unforgiving. Like, if one person slipped up, like, the most insignificant part of the puzzle, wipe. That's it. You're done. You have to start over. With the Eater of Worlds, from what I've seen of it, again, I haven't played it yet, so take this with like a slight grain of salt. But from what I've seen of it on like YouTube videos and gameplay videos and shit like that, I think I kind of like it a little bit more because it's a lot more combat focused. It's a lot more forgiving. It gives you a much more like epic feeling versus the Leviathan. And on top of that, the Eater of Worlds is basically what we wanted the Leviathan raid to be, which is like we go into Leviathan, not just the palace on top of it. The new weapons. The legendary tier and lower weapons I'm indifferent towards, because it's like they're basically the same weapons, just like different stats and like different skins and different names, obviously. But the exotics is what, people focus on when they say new weapons and new armor. A lot of the weapons and armor were recycled from Destiny 1, which that leaves a really bad taste in a lot of people's mouth, including mine. But the new weapons and armor, most of them are pretty solid. I'm really happy that they brought back heroic strikes. That was probably one of my favorite mechanics in Destiny 1, and I was really sad to see it gone in Destiny 2, but now I'm happy they're back. Another thing I'm really happy they're bringing back is the Dawning, because I don't think I touched upon this in my Good Game video, but in Destiny 1, some of my favorite memories of playing Destiny 1 was doing the limited time events like the Festival of Lost and Dawning and Crimson Days. I know Crimson Days kind of leaves a sour taste in people's mouth, but I personally liked it. All those nice, positive vibes that those types of time-limited events put into the game, that's what I'm there for. Especially now because of the currently very negative climate that surrounds Destiny 2 at the moment. It's a welcome change, for sure. Unfortunately, that's all the positives I have for this video. So now we're going to start stepping into the negatives. So, be warned. the campaign. I know I said it was in the positive section, but there's a few things I don't like about it, which is the fact that it wasn't exactly what I was hoping for. I was hoping for Curse of Osiris to answer the questions we had about Osiris that the Grimoire cards left unanswered. But the only question we had about Osiris that the Curse of Osiris expansion answered was the reflections. Because presumably the reflections of Osiris was how Osiris was able to appear in multiple places at once during the Battle of Six Fronts. And that's really it. That's all the information we got about Osiris that we didn't have before. I do like how the Curse of Osiris depicted him as just another guardian, you know? Because this whole time we've been holding Osiris on a pedestal as this almost godlike figure, you know, the most powerful warlock that's ever existed in the tower. But then you see him in the Curse of Osiris expansion, and he's just another guardian. He gets frustrated, he makes mistakes, he finds himself between a rock and a hard place quite often. It's a nice thing. I like the way they depicted Osiris. I just kind of wish we knew more about him. And then the heroic strikes. Now the same thing with the campaign. I know this was in the positives, but there's also things I don't like about it, which is the fact that it was locked behind a paywall. Bungie literally took away something that we had in Destiny 1 going into Destiny 2, and then said, you want this back? Pay $20. It's like someone coming up to you and stealing your phone at gunpoint and then charging you money to get it back. And then there's strikes in general, like the new strikes that came with the Curse of Osiris. Like, one of them was literally a recycled version of one of the campaign missions. Speaking of being locked behind a paywall, 50% of all of the new items that came into the game with Curse of Osiris are locked behind the bright engrams. Now I know that it's not really locked behind a paywall because you can get bright engrams, or illuminated engrams I guess they're called now, through just grinding the game and playing it and like leveling up, but they clearly incentivized players into buying the illuminated engrams so that they can get all of the content that's locked behind those engrams. And then there was the new patrol zone. Okay, so you see, when you said there's a new social space coming with the Curse of Osiris, I was expecting something like the tower or the farm where you go into third-person mode, you can't use your weapons, stuff like that. No, we got a new patrol zone that's about the size of a small Crucible map. This is kind of an unpopular opinion, and one that I probably should have talked about in the positives section of this video, but I actually kind of like the Infinite Forest. Alright, so my camera died, and so I have to record the rest of this video on my bed so that my camera can charge while it's recording. I personally, I'm not that big of a fan of Destiny 2 at the moment. Even though it seemed like in this video Curse of Osiris was more positive than negative, overall I didn't like it. Like, I honestly didn't. Was it worth $20? Yeah, I mean, two small pizzas at Domino's are worth $20. Is it worth your time? No. Not worth your time. The expansion as a whole, I would say, if you haven't already bought it, step away. Just take a break from Destiny 2. And I've already bought the second expansion because I got the base game plus expansion pre-order. So I'm going to be playing the second expansion, and I'm going to talk about that in a video when it comes out. But if they don't pull some kind of miracle out of their ass in the second expansion, or sometime before that, I'm probably not going to get the Year 2 expansion. I'm probably not going to get Destiny 3 unless they earn my trust back. Because right now, I'm just about done with Destiny 2 and all the shit that Bungie's pulling with it. There's only so many times a game can bend me over and fuck me until I turn around and say, hey, I don't like this. Yeah, that's it for today, guys. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Hopefully not on my bed next time. And I will see you guys in the next video. This is Niall, signing out.